Well, it's a beautiful day to spread a godly message. And so I wanted to come out here in the bright sunshine. This is the nicest day that we've had for probably 6 months. It's nearly 76 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, that is. And I was thinking a lot about how now's the time where people start to go outside a little bit more, at least where I'm at and where I'm from. People start to participate more in outdoor activities and things that are going to be more suitable for the family long term. And I was also thinking about how a lot of these people are going to do this kind of stuff in vain, though. They're not really going to try to get something from the experience. A lot of them are just doing it because that's what the family does, or that's what society wants them to be doing. And when's the last time you've done something that really lit a fire in your belly, that lit your soul on fire for no reason other than you wanted to do it? Because a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people just don't do it. And I don't think women necessarily need to be going out and partying or, oh, I need to experience the world. No, you don't, woman. You need to sit on daddy's lap and calm down. But men, we need to get out there. Like, sometimes I think to myself, if it was 3,000 years ago or whatever, I probably would have died on the battlefield already. Because in my heart, I'm a warrior. And I know that I'm more of a philosophical and spiritual warrior that is on the front lines of the spiritual warfare. But sometimes you got to take a chance. Sometimes you got to just take that leap of faith and go with what God wants you to have. Because you might not know, you might not be in a position where you think that, well, I can do this, or I can play here, I can play there, because playfulness is very important. And I think there's something really sacred about playfulness that many people don't understand. And this is the time where people start to, like I said, go outside a little bit more, do things outside, and maybe go to the swimming pool or go hiking and whatnot. And some of this stuff, a lot of it actually, is really just a form of escapism. It's just a form of escape. They're not really trying to do something with these experiences. So I want you all to think about this. In regard to sacred playfulness, what's something that you want to be doing, or that you want to learn, or what kind of skill you want to, harness, that you want to just do for you? It lights your soul on fire. One of the last things that I did was archery. Man, I went out and I got myself a longbow, and I've actually got a couple of shorts on it, like short videos on it. But maybe I'll do another video here soon. But I like to do and practice archery. I like it a lot. Because it gets that hunter instinct activated within me. It gets that primalness activated. And a lot of people are missing that primal passion, that primal exertion of an expression of the human form. There's something very beautiful about being primal. There's something very soul satisfying and fulfilling about just harnessing that inner chaotic passion, in a controlled manner, that is, as well. And God sometimes just wants you to take that leap. Like, I didn't know why God was calling me to get a longbow and practice archery. I had no clue why. But I did it, and I loved it. And I felt alive. Like I just did it because I wanted to. And of course, not everybody's going to be in the position financially to do this. I don't think you should just, go into debt for no reason. But sometimes you have to make connections that is going to cost you in the short term, but it's going to give you the kind of experience or knowledge or wisdom long term so that you can really grow into something really powerful. Because I don't think a man specifically, I really don't think a man can be whole without feeling a sense of power. I really don't think so. And this is one of the reasons why even Jesus Christ, he talked about power in some regard and authority. Look at what the Pharisees talked about. My favorite story, one of my favorite stories, but probably my favorite story of Jesus, is when the Pharisees come to him and the Pharisees say, "Hey, you, what authority do you have to do these things? What authority do you have to be performing these miracles and whatnot?" And Jesus says, "Well, let me ask you, is the baptism of John," and John was the baptizer at the time, who was a well-renowned prophet at the time, and Jesus' cousin. He says, "Well, was the baptism of John, was that of heaven or was that of earth?" And the Pharisees say, "Well, if we say heaven, then we say that he's the Son of God. But if we say earth, then we're denouncing John the Baptizer, and we can't really have that." We say neither, Jesus, we say neither. And Jesus says, "Well, neither do I tell you by where I get my authority from and by what I do with my authority." And I thought that was just so, oh my gosh, that's the sovereignty of manhood right there. That's the sovereignty of God. And that's just the sovereignty of the individual. That's the sovereignty of the individual, is to be, the only person that's above me is God himself. And that's what Jesus was saying there. But he was also saying, like, if you're not going to tell me anything and you're not going to decide anything, why do I have to decide something for you? That's another way to look at it. I don't know if that's the most correct interpretation you can think about, but that's another form of it you can check out. And so what I find very fascinating about that story is just it's not really a rebelliousness. Jesus Christ wasn't really a rebel, but he was a revolutionary. And when I say that I want to revolutionize psychology and spirituality, I mean that. Like, I don't just do one-on-one mentorships for nothing. I don't just do the Regal Change Academy group that we have for nothing. I don't have merchandise for nothing. I don't have my artwork for sale for nothing. I don't have all of these outlets for nothing. Everything in my life is either progressing me forward by me having to take a leap of faith or just trusting the process, or it's putting me further behind and it's making me doubt. And anything that really makes me doubt, I question the validity of, because it's not that I'm saying that we should be completely blind to the potential risks of certain decisions, but you should strive, in my opinion, and I really don't like the word should, so take that with a grain of salt here, but you should strive not to eradicate the possibilities that come with calculated risks. Don't ignore opportunities. Life is an opportunity. God wants you to take the opportunity. Sometimes God is daring you to take the opportunity. Man, that's actually what I might be titling this video as. But God is daring you to take this opportunity. He's daring you. He's like, look at this. Look at what you could, yeah, it is risky. It might not go the way that you think it does or the way that you want it to. But wow, either way, whatever happens, I don't know what the heck that was. Did you guys see that bug? I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was a wasp or whatever. Maybe it was just a bug, but it was huge. But no matter what happens, something really wise is going to be bestowed upon you in this situation. And sometimes the best thing that you can do is to take a step to play. That's it. Like, you don't need to do much else. All you need to really do sometimes to really get true wisdom is to inherit a sense of playfulness and joy constantly in your life. If you can manifest a sense of joy and a sense of peace and a sense of playfulness sacredly throughout this, you make it sacred, God's going to give you opportunities that you didn't even know existed. And sometimes, like, you're going to be doing you're going to be doing things and building up your opportunities that you don't even, okay, that is definitely a wasp over there. But you don't even have the understanding just yet of what God is going to be putting in your path. And sometimes God just wants to see if you're going to be daring enough to go out there and see what's going on. You know, in the Bible, there's a really popular "come and see" quote, right? Come and see. Come and see. And you know, about 3.5 years ago now, right before I started to follow Christ, I was in a position where I was having a lot of these really highly deep philosophical and existential dreams. Like, you talk about the hero's journey kind of a thing and all that. That was, my life was in those dreams a lot of the time. Like, my dreams were they still are very vivid and very realistic and very creative. But that right before I was beginning to follow Christ, I don't think I will ever have dreams like that ever again. It was like this enigmatic sequence of events that just shot off like a cannon. But one dream that I had in particular was a woman made of jewels, and she was in the forest, and she called me to come and see. And I said, "What do you mean, come and see?" She says, "Come and see, come and see." And so I went to follow her to see what she was, what she was trying to tell me about and what she was trying to show me. And we got to this place in the dream where, I won't go into the nitty-gritty details, because sometimes dreams, they exist in a timeless space that sometimes it's best for only you and God to know about. But moral of the story is, I went to this place in the forest where something was revealed unto me of what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's what this woman wanted me to come see. You see, wisdom is our sister, men and women, but specifically men. Wisdom is a sister of ours. Think about Cain and Abel. They are eternal brothers in some sense, right? They're brothers. And one wanted to build things and one wanted to destroy things. That's a very masculine essence, right? Whereas with women, the positive form, because those are both the positive form of masculine and the negative form of masculine, I suppose you could say. Or just the immature, let's say. I don't really want to say negative. Let's say immature. The mature form and the immature form. Now, the mature form of woman she's going to be more precious than rubies or jewels, right? Now, what's the flip side of that? What's the immature side of a woman? Well, that's the Jezebel, where she sees what you have. She doesn't want to add to it. She wants to take it and destroy it. She takes on that aspect. She uses psychological warfare See, women are very much more psychological in how they interact. Man, it's getting warm out here, but whew, it's got to be like almost 80 degrees now. I know that might not be like super hot for some people, but considering we've been like 10 to 45 degrees on average for the past like 5 or 6 months, yeah, this is pretty warm. It's pretty hot. I mean, we still have snow on the mountaintops here, so that's how, that's how crazy it can be in the weather here in the mountains. But anyway, those are the two forms of the mature and the immature Jezebel, and the woman that is of rubies. So you have to look at your life, and you have to look at, okay, are the men around me mature or are they immature? Because if they're mature, they're going to be building something. They're going to be taking the resources that they have and trying to add to it and build it. However, if they're immature, they're going to be trying to destroy it or destroy people's reputations. Okay? And with women, if a woman is multiplying what you have, then that's a good woman. But if a woman is taking away, or she's causing you confusion and chaos, like excessive amounts, because it's normal for women to have their days where, things are, it shouldn't happen too often, but if a woman needs to vent every now and again because of like stress or anything like that, that's normal. Okay, you don't need to think too much about that or think twice about that. But if she's trying to like every day try to kill your joy psychologically, yeah, that's not a good woman. All right. But anyways, guys, really take this leap of faith. God is calling you and daring you to take a chance. And I think you should take it. Because in this life, I don't want to say YOLO because that's so corny, but at the same time, you're gonna die someday, right? Like, knock, knock, knock. You're gonna die someday, and I'm not saying that you should be degenerate in how you take this chance that God is giving you and daring you to do, but sometimes certain things are more important, and sometimes experiences are the only things you get to take with you on the other side of the grave. So actually, that's pretty much the only thing you got to take with you as far as we know. But with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. If you do want to join the free Telegram channel for the Regal Change Insights, where there's going to be daily insights that auto delete after 24 hours. So if you want those insights and you want to write them down or whatnot, then that's going to be the place to go. If you want to join the Regal Change Academy group that we have, links are in the description box as well. And then for the one-on-one mentorships, there's the, I'm only doing the 2 types of one-on-ones right now. I'm doing a general one-on-one and then the Godlike Mastery initiation program that we're doing. And that's going to be for people that have the finances and the time to devote to really doing an upheaval of their life. And with all that being said, I do appreciate everybody tuning in, dropping a like or a comment, and peace be with you all. Until next time.